What's up, man? How are you?
What's up? How are you?
Yeah, thanks for coming in. So, you kind of are on the trend here. So, tell everybody how old you are, because you're young.
I am 21 years old.
Oh, dude, we don't have to pull birthdays to figure out. I think I have one other person. The last person I had on a couple weeks ago was 21, and I had someone else 22 before that. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's trending that direction. But yeah, tell everybody kind of what you are and what you do.
Yeah, so I own and operate Elevated Digital Strategies. We're a content marketing company based out of the Newtown location, but we operate with all Keller Williams agents. We do full service video content to help you stay consistent with your video content and maintain.
Yeah, and I'll be the first to tell you this. He's really good. And, I'm in this, world, kind of, I would say I'm somewhere between, whatever amateur and whatever after that is.
Yeah.
Not professional, somewhere in that gray area there, because a funny part is, I have a ton of people that are, amateur or have no idea, and they come up to me, and they're like, oh, my God, your stuff's so good. And then I'm in the back of my head, I'm like, no, I am, pee-wee level, and there's, high school, college, pro level people who do this, and it's you're definitely up there. So how did you kind of get into that background and all that stuff?
So getting into video itself, I've always been into it. From when I was really young, I would take my parents' camcorder, film myself and stuff like that. But then obviously when it started turning into an actual business around it is when I got involved with sports. So I grew up playing sports, played college sports, but in high school, a couple of my friends asked me to start filming their basketball games, so I started doing that. And then from there, I got into some big tournaments, being able to film Bronny James and some of these other high-level names. At a really young age, I was a sophomore in high school doing this. So from there, just kind of built out my platform in the sports side of it, and I was working with high school, college, and professional athletes pretty much all over the U.S. Doing video content for them for their social media. And then from there, I met Justin through a mutual connection, and he was looking more of Justin Gall, the owner of the offices and everything. Yeah, so
KW legend.
Yeah, so I was connected with him, and then from there we kind of just did a bunch of iterations of what we're doing now, and we kind of came down to this. So this is what we're doing. So I've kind of stepped away from sports, and now that's where I'm at
sports.
now.
We could talk about that a little bit, but that is such a cool I think one thing people don't realize with the sports stuff too is there's such a especially more than this side. There's so much more creativity, I feel on that end of it. As an editor,
100%.
There is so much people don't realize where it's you're kind of it's almost to me it's an artist who paints a picture. That person only paints that picture that way. If you gave it to another artist, they're going to paint the same picture, but it's going to look very different.
Yeah, 100%.
Where I think, even that today, and that's where, even to content in this side, that's why, I feel there's a lot of pride in your content. Sometimes I have that struggle personally as a realtor, because it's well, is it more important to post something, or is it more important to post something of quality? You know what I mean? And that's a struggle I always have. But yeah, I mean, the sports stuff, that's pretty cool. So how did you get connected with Bronny James? He just blew up. I just saw his dad's interview talking about him yesterday. That's sick.
So there was a tournament, it was in New Jersey. So the way I used to operate before I got actually connected with everything, I would kind of work my way into these tournaments. So I reached out to a bunch of people. Me and my friend, we spent literally an entire day. We were in school just texting, DMing people, and we eventually got through to this one school who said, you can come in with us, but we can't get you media credentials. So we drove there. It was in Toms River, New Jersey, and we were we're going to drive here, and we're going to get in. So we were persistent. We got in. They eventually let us in with the team, and I just stayed for all the games and ended up filming Bronny James and Sierra Canyon.
It's so cool how I think everyone nowadays, especially I went to high school, I graduated in 2014.
Yeah.
It was kind of a foreign thing. The only tape you really have, I played football, but the only tape you really have, even for basketball and all those other things, is really huddle. And it was more of a recruiting tape. And now even I have a bunch of kids that I coached growing up that are on Father Judge High School basketball.
Yeah.
And it's so cool that I don't think they realize how cool it's gonna be for them one day to look back when they're my age or when they're 40 or something, and be I still have that.
Yeah,
video.
exactly.
And it's not it's some grainy. It's a pretty cool video. So you're gonna have that for life. So that's literally so cool. But what do you think technique-wise, I guess, have you taken into that? Because, I guess the good thing is, at that level, you're learning to edit, and it's no different than this. It's just, I feel it's just a different, obviously, purpose of what you're trying to get out of it. So, I guess you took all those tools from editing and kind of transitioned it to here. Was that, a process for you to get started a little bit?
Pretty much. So, I do a lot of research around social media in general, but pretty much transitioning from the sports into the actual, real estate side of it. Obviously, I took the away from it, the the enthusiasm part of it. Like the whole point of a
Yeah.
sports mixtape is to showcase like how good someone is. So it's pretty much the same thing with real estate.
Yeah.
I'm trying to showcase how good someone is.
Yeah.
It's just in a different way. But yeah, so pretty much editing it, we did, like I said, we went through a bunch of iterations with long form content, then focusing more on that short form content. And yeah, just pretty much just trial and error. And now we're kind of at a point where
you got a good
it's
little
dialed
machine
in.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is that, I guess, technique wise? Because I'm saying this, I could literally have this conversation for like a day if I wanted to. But like, I guess technique wise, like completely off the top of my head, the stuff that I noticed you do, a lot of cuts, right? So it's like the same video, but you have multiple different angles, which I think I see that at like high content. I see that a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like even someone like, I always look at the dude Gary Vee, and like he's always posting content, but like I could tell too, like his messaging is his messaging, but the people doing his content behind doors, we don't know who they are.
Yeah.
They do a lot of similar stuff I see you do. So like, what are you strategically trying to do? And like, how does that, I guess, affect like the viewership? Like, I guess the algorithm is the ultimate question.
Pretty much, you're trying to reach the algorithm as best as possible. The best way to reach the algorithm is through that short changes, because people's attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. So the more you can change up in the video throughout it, that just helps with the retention, because that's the biggest metric to hitting the algorithm. If people are watching your video for a longer period of time, you're going to hit the algorithm. So that's pretty much what I found out through sports. I was like, all right, we're going to show a highlight here, cut to this, cut to this, cut to this. So now if we can kind of translate to that, so we have the main important part of the video is that hook for agents.
Right.
And if that's done in 3 seconds, we know the next 3 seconds after that, we have to keep that person's attention.
I feel like it's more of like a thought experiment from the real estate side, whereas like sports, it's easy, like, or even basketball, it's like, oh, well, this is and everyone loves sports and knows basketball, but you know, like, oh, dude, that dude postered somebody.
Yeah.
Like, that's the hook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's a lot, it's kind of like, it smacks you in the face,
Yeah.
whereas I feel like, at least from my content side, like, I've just recently started diving into, like, oh, I need to do this, and kind of, like, structure that. I guess this is, like, a weird question. I don't even know if you could answer this, but, like, I feel like the algorithm, like, I've been spending some time myself kind of researching and figuring out, like, do you think you're grabbing, and this is crazy, but like, is the algorithm really based off what you're doing on the video, or is it really based off of what the person watching it does? Like, I feel like that's a multi-layer thing.
Yeah, it's a combination of both. Right. So obviously it starts out with you. If you're putting out a video where in the first 2 seconds of it you don't say a word, and then you just say, oh, hey, I'm Josh Rifkin here. Like, it's not gonna, like, people
We've
are
had that
scroll
experience.
away.
Like, I used to have, like, we would do a lot of videos for houses, and I'm kind of, we still do them, like the tours and everything, but everyone will start off like, what's up, area guys, my name's, because my thought process was like, oh, well, someone's going to watch this video who doesn't know who I am.
Exactly, yeah.
But like, obviously, I don't think that's a great hook. Like, especially the people who know me are just going to scroll past.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Unless they want to see the outside of the house.
Exactly,
right?
Yeah, so that's, like you said, multi-layer. It starts out with you. If you're creating a video that's optimized for the platforms, then yes, 100%. But then also, it also has a lot to do with the person viewing it. So like, in the first like couple hours of the video being published, like, you're trying to get as many shares, as many interactions as possible. Like,
I think the first beginning of it's so crucial, right? Like, that's what really kind of like shoves you into the algorithm for somewhat. Yeah, I think it's definitely curious. Like, so just full exposure. Like, I have a pretty decent Instagram. I have like over 2,000. I get solid views, like when I do this thing and everything. And then I just recently started, like, first time ever I got a TikTok and I got a YouTube. I made a promise to myself I'm not gonna go on TikTok and scroll. I do every once in a while go on the following, because I like to see the people I follow, but I haven't dug too far into the For You and stuff. That being said, I do the Facebook ones and the Instagram or whatever the Instagram ones, so I'm not saying it like I'm some high shot. Like, I don't do this, you know what I mean? I do. I'm just trying not to go from 2 to 3. All right. So, and I know that's like the most powerful one of all. The other added benefit to it is now when I get sent TikToks, I can open them and see them, which is cool. But I feel like they're all different algorithms. Like, like, it's weird. Like, on TikTok, like, I do these 3 just every Wednesday. I do a market update. I ironically got the idea and kind of took it a step further with Justin. Their Newtown office does a thing where they basically say, like, here's all the active inventory in this area. Here's what's went pending. Here went closed. I take everything that I basically track the inventory. So let's say this zip code, our favorite's 54, right? So let's say there's 20 houses available. Well, if depending on what's sold and closed, that number can go up or down. So then next week, say there's 25. So I basically just do 5 more. It's weird on TikTok and YouTube, and it's pretty uniform across. I do one for Bucks County, Montgomery County, Northeast Philly. So the Bucks County one always does numbers. I don't know if there's more viewers in that.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I just thought of recently, and I just tried it this week, and I was like, well, what if I post the Bucks County one first? Because I'm posting them back to back to back, because I'm just trying to fire them off.
Yeah.
So I feel like the one I post first always does better. But also, I don't know if it's just because it's Bucks County. You know what I mean? It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like there's so many answers, like so many questions to the algorithm. It's so hard to understand.
Exactly. Nobody truly knows how the algorithms really work. You can obviously have an idea, but at the core of it, they're built out by these programmers that it's all just making up on as it goes. But at least from, let's just say, so TikTok, like TikTok doesn't really hurt you if you post 3 videos at the same time. They're fine with that. But platforms like Instagram and YouTube, like YouTube Shorts, they want you to post like 1 a day. They don't want you to post it like back to back.
Do you think it's incentivized too for you to post like each day? Like obviously it can't hurt from a new, but I genuinely think like you have to post like somewhat once or twice a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then it's gonna know, I guess, like, yo, we basically like we fuck with this guy. He posts stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
basically like in short. So.
Yep. No, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's quirky. That would be like definitely my one thing. So, as far as realtors now, so like your business, you're kind of providing content. So, kind of give an idea of like exactly what you're doing and all those sort of things.
Yeah. So, from the top, obviously, so we set up that consultation where we can kind of get a better understanding of what you're specifically looking for, and then what's your strategy around what you're already doing. So, the MREA, Millionaire Real Estate Agent, says prospecting and marketing is what drives lead generation.
100%.
So there's obviously different parts of prospecting and marketing. What we're focusing on is that online aspect. And we chose video because that's where the direction is heading. 73% of home buyers, they want an agent who uses video.
100%.
So, yeah, and 1/3 online activity spent watching videos. It's the future. It's the now. Honestly, it's the now, not the future. So that's where we're heading with it. But from there, we do that. We figure out what you need pretty much. From there, we'll set up the onboarding where we'll dive into like who's your ideal prospect, who you're trying to reach, because that's like the biggest part of creating content is that you want to know who you're talking to. So like what person, who do you help and how do you help them? Yeah. That's the biggest thing. So once we figure out that, we create your content blueprint. Pretty much you're here. How are we going to get you to here? Once we have that, we start tailoring content ideas that will help out with that. So if we know that you're like targeting first-time home buyers, we're going to create content for you that's around targeting first-time home buyers. From there, we'll film it, we'll edit it, and then we'll distribute it for you.
Okay, yeah, that's great. And the one good thing I think you guys do too, like this was like an area that I didn't really experience, but like we did a video recently. Is like kind of like the call to action, like do this, and because I feel like there's so many realtors out there that are like, hey, I gotta post content, but like you don't really have it where it's not real. It doesn't really do like I could have a video that has 100,000 views, but if nobody responds, like if you don't make any connections out of that, it's worthless.
It's
like,
worthless.
You could have a video with a call to action that gets 10 views, but if one person responds, like it's huge. And like even our video, like so I ran it on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and I got responses on all 3 things. Yeah. Like and I don't think people realize, and like that's in its infancy. Like I'm like months and months off of where I think it'll be most effective. Like, when it's repeated and all that stuff, where it goes from there. So, is there anything you guys are doing as far as like long form content and things of that nature yet?
So we're really specifically just focusing on that short form content, both on the organic side, which is more of like that, you want to create that long term like image. So when someone comes to your profile, they say, oh, this person's professional. But then we're also doing like kind of that quick now to the point. So we're helping people out with their ad creative as well to be able to run ads to their social media. But long form is definitely something that we're looking to obviously dive into. Yeah. YouTube is a huge platform for realtors. 51% of home buyers are going to YouTube before they're going anywhere else.
No joke. You told me that. And then like, everyone always has ideas in the back of their head. But then that when you told me that, I was like, I feel like there's, for realtors specifically, there's such an untapped market. Whereas like, everyone's on Instagram. Everyone's posting 3 tips to how to buy a house. What's the loan? Like these graphics. And I think a lot of people don't realize, like, I feel like at least the graphics and stuff is oversaturated. Videos, it's video or nothing in my opinion. But then when it comes to YouTube, like, I just think there's there's like such an area for growth where like people are going to go on there, especially like now. And I see it in Keller Williams, like, there's a lot of, and I don't want to really be like a relocation guy, but like I want to be able to be like, yo, this is where I'm from, this is my area, like this is where we operate. And if people see it on video, like, they're gonna go on YouTube and search. Like, even when we were talking about with like the Bucks County, Montgomery, like, there's people on there looking. Like, there's a reason why my Bucks County reel or whatever short on YouTube does 10 times the numbers as the Monco and the Northeast
people
one.
are looking there more.
Exactly, yeah. People are definitely into that area. So I think at least YouTube's like 100% the wave going forward. So do you think there's like any, like, as opposed to like YouTube algorithm, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, like, do you think there's any niches that are like any like places that there's really like a solid difference there?
My biggest thing is try to get on as many platforms as possible. So I think one that's a lot of people don't really think about is LinkedIn. Yeah. Because
I'm not even on it. I gotta get on it. I heard that's a thing though.
It is, yeah, because they're testing out a beta for video right now. So they're obviously trying to incorporate it more into their their platform, and it's changing constantly. While the text posts are still doing better on LinkedIn, but video I think is starting to creep up. And also, LinkedIn is where you're gonna find probably most of your qualified leads to begin with.
I literally, as you were saying that, I'm thinking, and also these people have a job.
Yeah,
exactly. That's a good start. Yeah, I mean, at its core, right? This person's probably a higher quality lead than like user X5379 on TikTok. Mm-hmm. Like, those are the people I get responding to my stuff sometimes, and I'm like, this. Hopefully, I'm responding back. I'm like, I want the algorithm to know, like, I'm a friend. I don't hate you.
Yeah, LinkedIn, they average salary of someone on LinkedIn $75,000. So already these people they're gonna have money to buy a home. So exactly. I think that's a platform that is not utilized enough. But I think like a lot of the people that are really successful in this field, like you mentioned Gary Vee. I read a lot of his books, and he always mentions just be on as many platforms as possible because you never know who's gonna see you on.
That's why I think it's sick too. Like your former content, like everyone has that short content. Yeah. Like. So it's so easy, and like for me, like I'm trying to get into YouTube too, but it's so easy to like pluck the video, like pluck short videos and link it to the long videos on YouTube. But also like if you do a video for somebody, right, a realtor, like even the one I just did for you, I ran on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok and YouTube Shorts. Yeah, that's 4 right there. You know what I mean? So you're getting 4 times the exposure in theory when you could build it all up. So I think it's so easy to kind of like just do that and kind of get into that sphere. You know?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, the more platforms, the better, like I said, and if you can run out as many as you want rather than a long form. So
are you guys strictly doing like real estate, or do you think you would like be open to doing content for other people?
Yeah, so we do work with other businesses as well, but we're really trying to focus on how we can provide the most value for the agents. Obviously, working with Justin, this is his world. And
Justin is like the connector, the ultimate connector.
He is,
like he's got you plugged in. He pulls you out of the basketball world, and he pulled us out of where we were working before. Yeah. He's the man. So.
Yes, he's 100% the man, and just this being his world, he's opened my eyes to a lot of it as well, and we see that it's a big need in this space, but. Yeah, we're working with other businesses in different industries, but real estate is what we're really trying to focus on, at least for right now. And then hopefully build out different.
And you have kind of all the logistics and like the foundation here, like even our office. Newtown, I'm assuming, has a studio like this too? Yeah. So Newtown and Langhorne. Well, so you could pivot all of them, and I would be surprised, like, we probably have a couple hundred at ours, they probably have a couple of others. That's probably like, let's say 500, and I'm lowballing it.
Yeah, there's 700.
How many people do you think are doing video out of them?
Yeah,
like 20?
Yeah,
30,
if that,
maybe, and of that, how many are doing like legitimate high quality stuff like you guys are doing? 5 to 10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there is so much room for you to grow. I think in that sphere, like if 100%. You can just kind of get connected. So that is a great connect too. And are you guys kind of like doing? And this might be a Justin question, but are you guys doing like just KW right now? Or are you?
I mean, we're pretty much just trying to help the KW agent. So we understand how the KW agent speaks. We understand how they operate. We understand their business. So
it kind
of helps with that, understanding that. But I mean, in the future we'll probably branch off into different industries, different locations, but. For now, we're really trying to focus on that KW agent. Just let people know that we're.
Yeah, I was about to plug you in. Like, my brother's needs a lacrosse video. But nah, dude, I really appreciate you coming. I cannot emphasize this enough. There are so many realtors, especially at my office. Like, I feel like people are really hesitant and the irony is like you're in real estate. Like these clients, it's just funny. Like you obviously don't do real estate, but like. Real estate clients, you're going to have a client, like I just had a home buyer seminar and I had a bunch of people in there like, I'm not buying to next year.
Yeah.
Sick. I'm stoked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll be hyped when they buy it, but like I think, and I guess this is humans in general, but they want like the quick fix. Like you're not just gonna post a video and get like someone's not just gonna sell a $500,000 house to you next day.
Yeah.
Like it does not work like that. Like it's a very long term game.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you right now, and realtors who are listening, like think about this: how many successful agents do you know that post a listing a week or something? You know what I mean? They do crazy numbers. Those are the people also doing video a lot. And trust me, like if you have the more business you have, and if you're doing an agent right now and you're operating, you have business. Even if you don't have business, you could do this. Like it's such an easy way. Like for a couple bucks, you have somebody do it professionally and do a good job, and then it's gonna look like, yo, this person is super like formal, serious, good at what they do. Like it presents such a clean image where like I think it's funny, like someone will spend like $500 on a suit to wear to the office or to a listing, and it's like for that $500 you could have done 8, and you could have put 8, however many videos you could do, and how many people could see that?
Yep.
Tens of thousands.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like even the one we just did, I got like 3,000 or 4,000 on it. If I did 8, and that's assuming they all did 3 or 4. Some of them can pop off and do more numbers than all of it combined, but that's 25, 30, 40,000 eyes possibly that are seeing on you, as opposed to that suit like is really for the eyes in your own head, so you can be like, oh, I look great. You know what I mean? So
I like to call it 1 to infinity. So obviously that is 1 to 1. You look good. People see you 1 to 1, but this is 1 to infinity. You can reach as many.
This is like a random question too. I don't know if you noticed, but what do you think about the algorithm as far as like it rotates old content? Like, because I have a weird thing with that. Like some of my content like will get random traction from like sources. Like, it'll just randomly pick up.
It does.
You know what I mean?
So it does rotate content. Like I'll still get likes on videos that I posted on TikTok like over a year ago.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I mean it's constantly there, and then also if people they come across something and then they see your profile and then you have like that. It looks good. It looks clean.
Exactly.
It looks professional. Yeah,
that's even where I'm at. Like right now, like I'm doing some of my YouTube stuff and even this Instagram stuff. Like, if there's somebody that looks at this like 4 years from now, 3 years from now, like they're gonna be like, and hopefully by then my content's evolved and it's much better. But even then, looking back, it's gonna be like, oh, like this is it. You know what I mean? Whereas I think people get so like infatuated with, oh man, I posted this video, it only got like 50 views or 100 views. Like, damn, like what happens when someone views that from 10 years from now?
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
I mean? They're going to be like, damn, like this person. And if you, hopefully you're keeping up with it all, they're going to be like, yeah, this person's been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
100%.
like that's ultimately my goal. Like, I want my Instagram, my TikTok, my YouTube, all this stuff. I want it to be like one big fat like business card testimonial where you look at it and be like, oh man, like this dude's been about this for a long time. You know what I mean? And whether eventually it gets more likes or I hope it does, you know what I mean? But you can't worry about it. I think people get really like, and I'm not even saying people, this is myself too. Like I think people like when we were growing up, like Instagram was like, oh, how many likes you get on this?
Exactly.
Or, like, this person's post is blowing up. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, now as this is a business, like it's not really how it operates, and I just think people don't realize like kind of how the marketing structure works. Like it's about eyes, it's not about likes, it's not about shares.
100%.
Like you want the more people that see it, the better chance that someone's gonna do it. And the other thing too is they might need to see it 100 times. Like it's the same thing as real estate. Like you might ask somebody, hey, are you looking to buy or sell? Or you might be like, we do this a lot. Like they'll be like, nah, I'm looking, but like not right now. Maybe a few years from now, we'll be like, all right, cool. Like what's your number? We're gonna keep you in the loop or whatever, and you just keep. It's a slow grind. You know what I mean? Like even these big companies, like someone like Coca-Cola or something, right? Like they're still paying millions of dollars,
exactly.
And it's like you're on a bus stop, but like when you see them, you realize that it goes into your brain. So yeah, nah, it's sick. I really appreciate what you're doing. So I'll let you go now too. We'll do our thing.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Thank you.